Let's go out to South Korea. Let's not confuse it with North Korea. Not yet. Well, we will be getting calls from North Korea. And talk to a first-time caller, Matthew. Matthew, thank you for calling, and thanks for holding. You're on the air, sir.
Hello, sir. How you doing?
All is well. How are you?
I'm very good. A lot of it thanks to you.
Amazing. And what did I do, sir?
You taught me the evil of anger.
Right on. And anger is evil. Anyone who has evil is who has anger is evil.
Well, you really brought it home to me.
And have you overcome? Are you overcoming it?
I am overcoming it. I'm still not totally successful yet, but I'm working on it, and I understand the problem.
Yes, right on. Have you gone and forgiven your parents yet?
Well, for me, my mother was terribly abusive, and now here's a twist, and I deeply respect your psychology, but here's a thing that I would like to present to you. My mother was really terribly. My mother and father split up when I was a baby, and I spent my time between my father's home and my mother's home. My father's home was very straight-up Christian and very predictable, very structured. My mother's home, she remarried multiple times, and she was kind of crazy, and she hurt me in many ways, and so I'm 46 years old and about to be 47. And in the early 2000s, I came to her and I told her, man, I said, Mom, I forgive you. I forgive you for everything that you ever did to me. And I forgive you. I didn't have your wisdom at that time, so I didn't say I forgive you for being angry at you. But I said, I forgive you. But she couldn't accept it. And we had a big blowout, and then I came back to South Korea. And then one morning, several years ago, I got the notice that she had committed suicide. I remember the exact conversation. She was on the porch swing in front of her house, and I told her, I forgive you. And she could not accept the forgiveness.
And the beauty
so it
is,
turned into
it's turned into an argument. But the beauty is, she doesn't have to accept it. It's you forgiving her so that God will forgive you. That's why God said, "Go and forgive." He didn't say go and ask for forgiveness. He just said, "As you forgive, I will forgive you." And so it turned into an argument. So you don't have to argue with her.
Well, sir, I didn't argue with her for well over 10 years.
Yes.
And because she couldn't accept the forgiveness, and so we couldn't have a conversation for a long time, and then she killed herself. So I don't know what that means. At the time, when I was a very much younger man, I guess I saw the wisdom of forgiveness.
Yes, sir.
And I told her I forgave her, but I still carried the anger.
Right. Well, what it means, based on all the information you just given me, is that your mother could not admit that she was wrong for being angry, being judgmental. And that's not your issue. It's not your problem. You're responsible for your own soul as an adult, right? And so that you can, stop the evil, you forgive her, and God will take her identity away from you. That spirit that she passed on to you, He will take it away from you, and then you can have your life and not pass that on to your children, and a new generation will start.
Yes, sir. I believe in your message, sir.
Yes, sir.
I really do.
Are you doing my silent prayer?
Well, that's an interesting topic. I will tell you that I fell away from Christianity for a while in my 30s, and I lived in a Buddhist temple.
Hold on for me. We got to bring you back to Christianity. Hold on. I need to take a break. Get the silent prayer, folks, by going to silentprayer.video. Silentprayer.video. Do your hoop and holler stuff, and then do the silent prayer. Be still and know God. What time is it in South Korea right now? Korea.
I'm sorry. Could you repeat the question, please?
What time is it in South Korea right now?
Oh, it's about. Let me check the clock. It's after midnight.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty late.
I really appreciate you calling me from there. Let me ask one quick question. Just I wonder about question. What is it like living in South Korea? Does it feel like living in America?
Oh, no, not at all. The neighborhood I live in, I'm the only white Caucasian guy. And it's a bit tough to deal with. On the weekends, I go down to near Humphreys Air Force Base. Humphreys Air Base. It's an army base where my grandfather was stationed during the time of the war. Mm-hmm. And I do work down there on the weekends, and that kind of keeps me sane.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
Are you over there because of work?
Well, I came here. I got a master's degree in 1996 in creative writing, and didn't really allow me to get a job, so I took a teaching job here in '96, and I came here, and then I was back there in New York from '99 to '03, working for the Korean consulate, and so I lived through 9/11 and all that stuff, and '03 I decided to come back here, and I married a Korean lady, a widow with a son.
Amazing.
And so that's what I'm doing here now.
Yeah. Amazing. And so I asked just before the break if you were a Christian, I believe. I forgot what I asked, but you say that you grew up as a Buddhist or something?
No, sir. I grew up as a Christian.
Oh, as a Christian.
In a non-denominational Christian church.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And I came here, and I fell off the Christian track for a while. I lived in a Buddhist temple.
Oh, yeah.
And I learned meditation practices, and I did that for a while. But especially since listening to you, I'm back to being a Christian. Straight up Christian.
And what brought you back?
Straight up. Well, I don't know. I'm kind of intellectual in a lot of ways, and so I question a great deal. And so I questioned the Christian religion maybe too much over the years, Yeah. And so I lived in a Buddhist temple, which was it was a great experience. And I learned, actually, you teach about the silent prayer actually has a great overlap with certain Buddhist practices here. I'm not saying they're Christian, but there's an overlap. But eventually, it got to the point, we're getting to the point where we are in an apocalypse. An apocalypse from the Greek, and I studied Greek in my youth. Greek means, the Greek meaning of apocalypse is the revealing of things that were hidden.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that now.
Yeah.
Right? And so I'm seeing the evil everywhere that it exists. And I am making a personal practice of dividing myself from that evil everywhere that I see it. Because it's rampant. It's right in your face.
It's so amazing, too, Matthew, to be able to see evil. When I was a liberal Democrat and calling myself a Christian at one time, I still had that anger, but I could not see evil. I couldn't see it. I knew evil existed, but I couldn't see it. But once God took that spirit of anger away from me and opened up my eyes so I can see, I see it. It's so weird to see it. And you see it in people, and the people don't realize that you can see the evil in them. It's mind-blowing. And I love God for that, because that's how he protects his children, by allowing them to see. And so even your family member, a close so-called friend, wife or husband, cannot deceive you because you can see. But when you have that anger, you cannot see. And it's so interesting to me.
You are absolutely right, man. Absolutely right. And I love you so much because you have brought this message, and you have brought it without any, what can I say, man? You've brought it without fear. And you've brought it without backing down at any moment. You've brought this message that anger is of the devil.
Yep.
And it really is. Yes, sir.
The beauty of overcoming anger, the scripture says that perfect love casts out fear. So when that spirit of anger is taken away from you, so does fear depart as well, because now perfect love, which is God's nature, come alive in you again. And then in that perfect love, there is no fear, because you're now living from perfect love. But when you have that anger, you're in a fallen state. You're living from anger. You're living from no love at all, pure evil with no foundation. So you don't have love. And so I had fear when I had anger. But when he took it away, the anger and the fear disappeared as well. And that's what's happening to men and women around the world. Those who forgive and God forgive them, they're also overcoming fear.
Yes, sir. And fear and anger cannot exist in the same space.
100% right. It cannot. So let me ask.
Well, I'm sorry, I misspoke. Fear and anger exist in the same space, but fear, anger, and love
right.
do not exist
I know what
in
you
the
meant.
same space.
That's right.
And I see this here in Korea, where the children of the lie are trying to bring that stuff into this country and this culture.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, man, I went to jail for fighting this.
Amazing.
Because at the time, I was angry.
Yeah.
I was extremely angry, and it took me into jail. But, I'll say this. The detectives that interviewed me in the time that I was in jail got woke. I shared information with them where they were like, wow. And they helped me out. And they helped me. They saved me from spending years in prison.
Right on.
Because I fought the children of the lie in this country.
But
I was angry.
Let me say this to you because of time here. So you haven't started doing my silent prayer yet, right?
No. To be honest, I haven't.
I highly recommend.
But I will soon.
Yeah, give it a try. Because what's going to happen is you're already awake. You can see now. And it's God that dwells in you who have awakened you. All right? And so to stay with that, I encourage you to do the silent prayer. And it's going to he's going to bring you out of your thoughts even more so. And as you mature within the voice of Satan, which are the thoughts, that's why he said bring every thought into captivity. Those thoughts are going to get further and further and further and further away from you because your mind is now being renewed in God's mindset. So you're going to have his mind rather than the mind of Satan. So give it a good try. If you don't like it, you can always stop doing it. But I highly recommend it for you, Matthew. You're on your way.
Hey, thank you, Jesse. And could I say one more thing?
Yes, sir.
I sent you a T-shirt, and it was your face on the Great White Hope, President Trump.
Oh,
I sent
yeah.
it to your headquarters.
Thank you, man. I got that.
I
I didn't know it was you. Thank you. That's so interesting.
Okay, well, I just like to know that you got it. That's
I
enough
did.
for
I
me.
told them to let
So,
you know I got it, too. I really, really appreciate that. That's amazing.
Okay, thank you, brother.
Matthew,
And,
call me
Thank
again.
you for your advice. Yes, sir, I will.
All right.
Have a good night.
You too, buddy. Bye. It's not night here.